holy shit. I mean, are the brokers in on it with the shippers, or what the hell's going on over here? Man, these freight brokers in the US, they are brutal. Not what I'm used to for sure with working with the Canadian freight brokers, but in today's video, I'm gonna go over a little bit of the difference and what I see and what has happened to me and our fleet over the last 6 weeks. For those of you that don't know, we've recently opened up ET Motor Freight, which is our US division of ET Transport in Atlanta, Georgia. Right now, we have 12 units running in the US, and hopefully within the next 4 months, we're gonna ramp that up to about 20 power units. So as dispatch starts booking loads, there are 3 stories that I'd like to share with you guys, and I'd like to create awareness out there on what can happen to you because it has happened to me. All right, so the first story is driver has a delivery appointment at 8 o'clock in the morning. He was actually waiting in line to get into the delivery, and there was 4 trucks ahead of him. When driver checks in at 8:08, driver checked out at 5:50 p.m. Literally a full day for them to offload. Now you come back to the broker and say, hey broker, here's your time in, time out. We need X amount of dollars for waiting time. I mean, we bill here at, $95 an hour, which is standard here in Canada, 85, 95, whatever. Sometimes the broker will say, hey, I can only give you $50 an hour or $75 an hour. But broker reaches out and says, hey, we're really sorry. Our terms and conditions said we only pay $35 an hour. And I think to myself, I said, $35 an hour is what you guys pay, and it's in our terms and conditions. The second thing, listen, Ronan, we're really sorry, but your driver clocked in at 8:08. There's nothing we can do about it. There's a few things that you can do. Number one, you can, start going back and forth with them. You can, leave a bad review. There's only so much that you can do as a carrier. This is where we are at fault as carriers, that we're not united. Okay, the brokers are definitely united on, in our industry, but the trucking companies are not united, and that's why these brokers can actually get away with this stuff. So the first thing they do is they can put a bad review on you as a carrier, and we all know how damaging that is. So, I mean, you really don't have a choice here except saying, okay. Now, the second thing that I would do here in Canada is I would go after the customers. I would bill the shipper or the receiver and tell them, hey, you know what, I was there all day, and this is the reason why I'm sending you this bill. And I would demand it from the shipper and the receiver. But in this particular case, I decided not to destroy my reputation in the US. I just decided to bite my tongue and say, you know what, forget about it. We'll pay from our pocket to the driver. Once I fell in that trap, I said to myself, fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice. I don't even remember how the saying goes. But basically, you can only screw me one time. All right, the second time I become smarter. So I decided to be smarter. And then the next time before we book a load, I asked the broker, what's the standard, what happens if there's waiting time at the shipper or the receiver? He goes, oh, we pay $35 an hour. And then another broker says, oh, we pay $30 an hour. I said, are you kidding me? I pay my drivers $25, $27 an hour. After 44 hours in Atlanta, Georgia, they're getting time and a half. How in the world can you guys only be paying $35 an hour? Because that doesn't cover the driver's salary, nor the truck, nor the trailer, nor the fuel, nor the insurance, or any other million expenses that we have. How is this normal across the board to pay $35 an hour, $30 an hour? So I really want to get some of your input out there, okay? You guys actually work for $30, $35 an hour. I mean, there's got to be something wrong or a workaround that maybe I just don't know about. Second scenario, we arrived at a delivery 15 minutes late. Again, yes, my driver arrived at 3:15 instead of 3 o'clock. The shipper comes up to him and says, sorry, sir, you were supposed to be here at 3 o'clock. Now, if you'd like to get offloaded, you have to pay $350 for lumper fees because you were late on your delivery. Calls in dispatch, tells him the story of what happened. Listen, I arrived late. They want to charge me $350. I said, $350 for what? For them to offload you? It's their job to offload you. They're the receiver. He goes, no, sir, there's absolutely nothing we can do about it. You can decide whatever you want to do for yourself. If you want to stand there all day, you can stand there all day, but nobody will offload you until you pay $350. And I'm thinking to myself, I was like, holy shit. I mean, are the brokers in on it with the shippers, or what the hell is going on over here? So I call the broker. Broker says, listen, we're really nothing we can do about it. You were late. This is the situation. Well, then, I started becoming even smarter, and I started reading the reviews, and then you start seeing that this is like a pattern and a trend, that this is what they do. Some of the brokers, obviously not all. I mean, I've had a wonderful experience in the US with, Alan Lund. But man, some of those other brokers, they could get brutal. So what did end up happening? Yes, we actually paid $350 for them to offload us, and there's no other way for you to get out of it. Yeah, you can be an ass, and you're like, you know what, forget this. I'm taking the load to my yard. And then, you guys will figure out whenever we get paid, that's when we will deliver. But then again, do I really want all these bad reviews on me? Oh, he's a carrier like this. He steals loads, takes loads hostages. And now I feel a lot of what you carriers out there are feeling in the US. I mean, in Canada, it does not work like that. I would have to say, by nature, I think they're a lot more friendlier, especially the brokers. I mean, when you talk to them, they understand that their livelihood depends on the carriers, and our livelihood, a lot of it depends on the freight brokers. The last thing I'm going to talk about is brokers, I would say the rate confirmation manipulations. I mean, I've seen some really dirty stuff, but I've never seen anything like this. You call a broker, you tell them, hey, you know what, $1,800 is the rate. The broker says, yeah, no problem, $1,800. You negotiate $1,850, $1,875, whatever it is. He sends you the confirmation, and they send you the confirmation at $1,600. Well, man, how in the world do they get from 1850? I thought maybe something wrong with me. How in the world did they get from 1850? And they send the confirmation at $1,600. Well, maybe this is a common practice of theirs, because then I started reading a lot of Google reviews, and guess what? It says it there. These freight brokers, I mean, they manipulate the rate. Or, some more things that I've seen that they do, you cannot fall for these things. They have their agreed rate, which is $1,800. Then they have a on-time delivery, $500. Then they have tracking, another $300. Getting a hold of your driver, another $300. So basically, if they ever call your driver and he doesn't pick up, so we here at ET Transport, we have a policy, we never give out driver phone numbers. I don't care, you don't want to give me the load, don't give me the load. But you have a tracker, you can track, so basically if they weren't able to track your truck, or if the driver didn't pick up the phone, they have the legal right to deduct that $300 from them. This is what's happening in the US, and the freight brokers are able to get away with this. Again, not all freight brokers are bad. I'm just picking on the 3 or 4 that I've had a horrible experience with. Obviously, I'll put notes in the system to never work with this broker again. You guys out there, give me some feedback, please. How do you guys deal with this? How are you guys? Is it the notes? Is it how are you dealing with all these bad brokers or bad players out there? I'd love to hear some of your feedback. Well, I'm Ronan, and I'll catch you in my next one.